Tourism in America is falling fast, and the situation is getting serious. After years of record-breaking travel and strong international spending, that growth is collapsing. And tucked inside Trump's Big Beautiful Bill is a $250 tourist fee that could make things even harder. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this supposed to help the country? Maybe even help seniors? That's what some are hoping. But when you look at where the money is going and who it really affects, the picture starts to shift. We're going to take a closer look at the uncertainty surrounding this new fee. But don't worry, I'll also show you what it means for your future and how to stay informed before it hits your wallet. Let's start with what this fee actually is. It's called the Visa Integrity Fee, a new $250 charge added on top of the standard non-immigrant visa costs. That includes visas for tourists, students, temporary workers, and people participating in exchange programs. If someone wants to visit the U.S. on an F-1 student visa or AJ-1 cultural exchange visa, or even come temporarily for work on an H-1B visa, this fee now applies. The fee doesn't apply to travelers from countries in the visa waiver program, but for millions of others, it's a new and substantial cost. And while there is language in the bill suggesting this money might be refunded if visitors follow all visa terms and leave the country on time, the refund process isn't clearly defined. Most experts are advising travelers to expect to lose the full $250 because there's no set system in place yet for how or when that money might be returned. That refund confusion matters even more now because this fee is officially happening. The Visa Integrity Fee is now law. It's part of the Big Beautiful Bill, a sweeping legislative package signed by President Trump on July 4th. That means it's no longer a proposal or a maybe. It's real, and it's coming. The exact start date hasn't been announced, but many expect it to roll out before the end of the year. What remains to be seen is how it'll be enforced, how it affects travel demand, and whether the government can handle the scale of implementation without causing delays or backlash. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. America's tourism industry is collapsing, and you might be surprised at just how serious the situation has become. After years of welcoming tens of millions of travelers each year, big-name destinations are seeing a sharp drop. International spending in the U.S. is projected to fall by nearly 7% this year. That's over $12 billion in lost economic activity. And it's not just general numbers, it's specific places people know and care about. Bookings to cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago are down. Anaheim, home to Disneyland, is seeing fewer international guests. Travel demand from countries like Canada, Germany, and the UK is slipping hard, in some cases as much as 60%. For local businesses that depend on tourist dollars, restaurants, hotels, event venues, that's devastating. And now, we're asking those visitors to pay even more just to get in. Some argue the fee is necessary. They believe the U.S. has been far too lenient when it comes to visa enforcement, and that foreign visitors should contribute more if they want to take advantage of American systems. From that view, the $250 Visa Integrity Fee isn't just about revenue. It's about restoring accountability. It's a signal that the country takes its borders, its laws, and its budget seriously. If it brings in even a modest amount to help balance out federal spending, especially during a time of economic uncertainty, then that's a step in the right direction. But others worry this approach could backfire. They argue that tourism isn't just a luxury industry, it's a major economic driver. Making it more expensive and complicated to visit the U.S. sends the wrong message, especially when other countries are actively courting international travelers. Japan, France, and Australia are streamlining visas and rolling out global ad campaigns. Meanwhile, we're cutting tourism marketing and raising entry costs. That contrast matters, and it could cost us billions in long-term travel spending. And then there's the perception factor. People don't just choose travel destinations based on price. They choose places that feel welcoming. A fee like this may come off as cold or even punitive, especially when paired with headlines about delayed visas, long entry lines, or political tension. That feeling can linger, and it can steer travelers away, not just this year, but for years to come. So the question becomes, does the short-term revenue from this fee outweigh the long-term risk of turning visitors away? That's the debate happening now. Quietly, in policy rooms, travel circles, and communities already feeling the pinch of fewer tourist dollars. So what does this mean for seniors? Some people are wondering, could this new revenue help support critical programs like Social Security or Medicare? The short answer is not directly, but it's more complicated than that. This fee goes into the government's general fund. It's not earmarked for retirement benefits, and there's no guarantee it'll be used that way. But in theory, if the general fund grows, it could relieve some of the budget strain and make it easier for lawmakers to protect the programs older Americans rely on. That's the hope. More resources could mean fewer hard choices when it comes to benefits. For those living on a fixed income, any measure that could add stability is worth watching closely. That said, the impact of this fee is still uncertain. The Social Security Trust Fund is currently projected to run dry by 2034. After that, unless changes are made, retirees could face across-the-board cuts of around 19%, meaning $810 instead of $1,000. And if tourism continues to decline, revenue from hospitality, travel taxes, and related business activity could shrink even further. That would leave less money flowing into federal and state budgets, and even less flexibility to support critical programs like Social Security. Some analysts warn that if these trends continue, the 2034 depletion date could arrive sooner, maybe 2032 or even 2031. We're not there yet, but the trajectory is worth watching closely. And that's where the real risk lies. This $250 fee was designed to raise money, but if it ends up pushing visitors away, it could actually backfire. Less tourism means fewer jobs, weaker small businesses, and a slower economy overall. That ripple effect could easily override any financial benefit the fee brings in. Even if the visa integrity fee pulls in a few $100 million, that doesn't come close to replacing billions in lost travel spending. So what does that leave us? With more questions than answers. The idea of collecting extra revenue sounds helpful on paper, but in practice, it's launching into a fragile economy and an already struggling tourism market. If you're someone planning for retirement or already retired, this isn't just a story about travel. It's about how seemingly small policies can snowball into bigger economic shifts that affect the programs millions of Americans rely on. Now, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you think this fee is fair? Do you believe the money will go where it's needed most? Or does this feel like one more cost with no clear payoff? Leave a comment and let me know. I read your feedback, and it always helps guide what we cover next. Thanks for spending your time with me today. If this helped you think about the issue a little differently, consider sharing it with someone else. Because the more we understand what's really going on behind the headlines, the more prepared we are for whatever comes next.